Attack the enemy! Victory is ours!
Good morning, everybody, and today I'm going to have a little bit of a more of a tactics style video. This is a battle from the 13th of February 2018, and as you can see, it was battle on Poland, and I was playing my 7.7 Japan lineup with my STB-1. So, in a minute you'll see the way the team kind of started dispersing themselves, and that's what we're going to talk about today. Or, well, I guess what I'm going to talk about, and then you guys are going to tell me how wrong I am in the comments. But just bear with me. Now, this battle actually lasted 30 minutes, which is obviously longer than Shadowplay can DVR, because it's limited to 20 minutes, which I didn't realize just how long the battle had been. So sadly, we miss a lot of the chat discussion that I had with the team here about, hey, don't everybody go south of the lake. Now, you can see right now, we've got 10 players on our team at the moment. A couple guys will join in late. But at the start here, you can see there's 3 of us heading north of the lake and 7 guys. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All heading south of the lake to up that hill. And that's okay if you're playing domination. It's okay if you're playing conquest if the cap is down in the south. It's not so great if you're playing battle, because the enemy team on the opposite side, this is specifically addressing the eastern spawn, which we have. The enemy from the western spawn, assuming that they can make it up to where their B point is, to the sniper hill there on the west side of the lake, on that overlook, they've got an extremely advantageous position in F4, looking down at the minimap, compared to anything that our team has at either G6, G5, H5, H6, even down to G7. You're vulnerable almost everywhere there and have very little good shooting protected shooting spots to shoot back at their sniper hill inside F4. And they are very protected behind those rocks there with foliage and all kinds of other cover there. So, my preferred tactic, and what I have seen win more often than not, and just recently, in fact, I played another battle again today. I'm narrating this on the 1st of March, actually, and played another one of these battles today with my French lineup, so obviously not quite the same thing as with the STB-1, but the tactics are the same, and it worked. We won. Now, for those of you who say I don't ever use the suspension, there you go. I'm using it in my STB-1 there. Adjusting my tank's position a little bit to see what I could do with what kind of gun elevation I could get. Anyway, that's like the only time I use it in the battle, I think, but I did use it. So, you can see we're already starting to lose guys down in the south. 2 guys to an AMX Foch. Or, sorry, 1 guy to the Foch, and then the Foch got killed back in turn, so a 1-for-1, but still. We've already lost a couple guys down in the south. We're down to 5 guys down there. We've got our 3 guys up in the north, but most of the enemy team is at B. Now, the difference in the positions being, and why I say don't go to the south, 1 or 2 guys, 3 guys maybe is okay. But why I don't want the bulk of the team going as we lose another one to an Object 120 is the enemy team, if you start threatening B and they're up on the sniper hill, they can turn right around and come right down and do something about it. But if the enemy team makes it to the A point from where we are, what is our team going to do? They're going to have to drive down the hill and be exposed and open and naked to counterfire from the sniper hill up at F4. Now, we got an ME4 or a ME410A, and he just took out a T29 up on their sniper hill, so good work there, but we know there's that Object 120 still up there at least. And there's more than that. There's quite a few more tanks in there. There's also a few in the city here that are making their way towards our cap. And there's the 410 knocking out a Foch. And then an AMX-30 DCA shoots him down, so not really surprising. Now, better reason to just have most of your team come to the north and sit here and wait. We have all this advantageous cover where I am right now with trees and the little dirt berm and stuff off to my right. And from there, even if the enemy team makes it into the A point where they're going to, and unfortunately I just checked there to make sure during the replay, you still don't get to see the chat. during the replay, sadly, which is too bad because there was quite a bit of discussion where I was trying to convince the team you shouldn't all go down south because you guys are just going to get killed down there, and you're not going to be able to come up. You're not going to be able to react quickly to get back to the A point if we need it. Now, my teammate in the Type 60 ATM takes a hit here. I was typing at the time, so I couldn't react quickly. But once I got back up and looked, I could see where the shot had come from. Now, in the replay, obviously, you can see where the T-44-100 is. But in the actual battle, I didn't see him because he was behind that fence. However, move up to where I can see him, get a good shot into his turret, take out his commander and his gunner, put artillery on him where he was marked from the damage, and then pulled forward to where I could see him again. Unfortunately, our Type 60 was on fire and did not have FE, so he burned out and exploded. Now, the T-44-100 is right on top of our teammate, and I'm trying to decide here now, do I go after him and give away my position? I'm the only person here off in the woods in the ambush position to defend our A point, or do I push in and try to help out our teammate in the MKPZ-47 there? So I waited for a minute, and he's still alive. He hasn't taken any hits. He's not on fire. He's not calling for help. So I'm just kind of waiting here, hoping that he's going to be victorious over the T-44-100. I did take out 2 of the T-44's crew already, so I've got some confidence in my teammate there knocking the dude out. One of them dropped smoke. I'm not actually sure which one it is, but they split off from each other in the smoke there, so I'm just kind of sitting here waiting, not hearing any gunshots, just keeping my gun ready just in case I need to move in. And then I see the T-44-100 driving in for our cap, and I managed to get a killing shot into his crew. And there we go. Cap defended from over here, where I'm pretty well camouflaged. Now, you could see me from the right, back on their hill, up by their cap, or in the edge of the city there, the town, the village, whatever you want to call it. You would be able to see my gunfire smoke after you heard it, but I'm pretty well protected, and you're not going to see me most of the time until I actually fire. So now you'll see how much of our team is left. There's 2 guys down in the south, and there's the 2 of us up here in the city. So I decided, alright, better to move into the city and try to give some support to the MKPZ-47 over here and hope that I can keep him alive, and maybe we can push in on the enemy cap. Now the video is going to get a little bit slow and kind of boring here in a minute, where I'm just holding my position and just playing it defensively as much as possible. And of course there's enemy air coming overhead, so that's also a concern of mine when you're already down in numbers to the enemy team. So pull it into a park here, just kind of waiting for that airplane to go over. Don't really want to be moving when there's an airplane overhead if you can help it, because they will see the movement. He went in for something, I'm not sure what it was. Whatever it was, he missed it, so good. So I'm essentially just sitting tight here and playing defensively, waiting for any team to come in as we lose a mouse down in the south again. I'm sitting just defensively, waiting for anybody from the enemy team to come in an effort to cap our flag out, our cap, because they are going to think we don't have anybody left. Now, they'll be able to look at the team and see that I have a kill, and there's a couple guys left, but not very many, and they've got more than we do at this point. So yes, it's a little bit boring, and I'm just kind of sitting here, as you can hear shots going off to the left. But it's mostly the airplane flying over, dropping bombs and firing rockets off people. Now you can hear and see gunfire going off right on top of our MKPZ-47, so I put artillery where the enemy was being marked, and then try to get in there and help him. He's been set on fire by an M46, and I'm trying to get to him as quickly as I can now. I didn't want to be right on top of him, obviously, because if an enemy spotted us, we could either get both bombed out or maybe hit with an ambush, or somebody would see both of us and be able to get around us. So if I'm off separated from him, I've got a better chance of surviving. Now he gets knocked out, unfortunately, and the M46 is going to come barreling out of the smoke and head right in for our cap in a moment, and I'm ready and waiting for him here. There he is, we've got him spotted, and get a crew kill shot on him. He obviously had already taken some damage from our MKPZ M47, And I felt bad that I wasn't able to save the M47, but at least I took out the M46, and essentially we were safe here. Now, in a moment, you're going to see something else that happens. Now, possibly an M103 drove all the way around behind me in the background. I'm not entirely sure. Now, you can see him right there, right before we fade back into the actual live battle from the DVR recording. And you can see the end of what I was talking about in the chat there. About 10 minutes in is where the battle picks up. So you can see the M103 was just right back there off to the left of where I'm looking. I could hear him shoot and kill someone back in our spawn, and I saw who got killed out of our spawn, but I'm not sure where he was. And there's another kill that happens. I try to get artillery ready to fire at him just to mark him, and unfortunately, even worse, he spawn killed our MKPZ M47 coming back in a spare vehicle. So poor guy used a second premium vehicle spawn and got killed as soon as he spawned. So an airplane came over and dropped bombs on the guy to the south of me and didn't hit him, which is good. He was a Leopard. He didn't take any hits as far as I know. He may have been tracked, but he's not calling for help or saying that he's repairing or anything. So I'm just watching for this M103. Now, I don't know if the M103 was able to get around our guys in the south, which I doubt, or if he got around me up in the north, which is what I think is more likely. That he just took the long way around and went way up and way back behind me, and I never saw him or heard him. I think that's probably what he did, but I can't be 100% certain because I didn't actually watch him in the replay. But again, I was the only player back in the woods, and I've got to watch in towards the village as he gets another spawn kill on the same guy in the spawn again. So I can't hear him shooting. I can just see that he's killing our guys in the spawn. I actually didn't know where he was here. You could see him in the replay, so I know from the replay that he's off to the left, back there off to the left. But as far as I knew, he was way down south and was shooting from like H8 or H9 or something, and our guys are marking him way close to our spawn, which is not where he is. And that Coelian had been spawn killed by the same guy twice. So I'm a little annoyed that he's not offering up the info on, hey guys, there's a dude shooting into our spawn in an M103, and here's where he is. Because he should be able to tell from the death cam, the kill cam, should be showing him that the M106 is shooting from north of the spawn. But he just takes 2 kills and leaves the battle. Doesn't say a word. Doesn't click on the map. Doesn't anything. So, teamwork tip. If you get killed, tell your team where it came from. Even if all you can do is just type something because you have no spawns left, just tell them roughly, hey, the guy that killed me is here, and this is what he was. People are more likely to see the chat than they are likely to see a marker on the minimap. And more importantly, you can go back to the chat list and look at it again if you miss it and say, ah, that's where he was. You can't go back and look at say we'd missed that guy just getting killed on their sniper hill at B. If you look at the map now, you're going to have no idea where he is. But if someone, like say someone had clicked on, you can also, if you were able to click on the map marker, that works too. Because that'll give your team a square on the mini-map, which also helps. But if nothing else, just type and say, hey, there's a dude here, this is what kind of tank he is, and this is what he's shooting into our spawn, or he's hiding behind a building, he was hard to see, and I drove out in front of him because he was hiding in a little ambush spot, etc. Anyway, back to the battle. I'm still just sitting here, holding off, waiting, and now our guy up on the hill gets killed by the M103, so I'm still thinking to myself, the M103's got to be across the river to the south. So I drive through to knock out the fence here, so I can hopefully fire my Heat FS rounds up into where I assume this M103 is going to be. I'm watching for him to be driving towards our spawn from back there, hoping anybody will mark him or something, but he's not showing up anywhere. So really, I'm doubly waiting for anyone to come after our cap, and waiting for that M103 who just gets another spawn kill. Waiting to see him anywhere. He's still not getting marked. The Leopard has been killed and then spawn killed. So killed twice in a row, again, by the same M103, and he also just doesn't say anything to the team about where this M103 is. So I'm making my best assumption here that he's down to the south of our spawn. and killing our guys from there. And you'll see here comes the FW-190 now, and he's going to come back and knock out the M103 as a revenge kill. But again, doesn't say a thing. Now, he would have marked the guy probably if he'd have just hit him and damaged him, and I finally would have known where this M103 is. But I potentially could have driven back there and killed this M103 5-6 minutes ago. There it is. He's bombed out, and you can see that he was all the way to the back at the upper part of F9. So the 190 did kill him, but I potentially could have killed him before the 190 got killed in his RU-251 as his respawn. So now that we've got friendly air up, and you can see that we've just cleared off their sniper hill, I'm going to drive on in and head and see if I can take out the B point, as our Leopard is now spawn killing them and taking out their Crusader AA. So our F8 F1, or their F8 F1 and our 190D crashed into each other, which, I mean, it happens. I assume they were trying to dogfight each other, or maybe went into a turn fight or something. Maybe a head-on and collided, I don't know. Didn't seem like they probably were intentionally trying to ram each other, but you never know. I don't know what happened. The enemy team has moved into B and is starting to recap it, so I'm waiting for our guy up on the sniper hill to come back and help me, but he is completely absorbed in sitting up on the sniper hill and trying to shoot back at them and shoot them in the back. Now, as we drive past, you can see an Object 120 stop there. I couldn't be entirely sure if he saw me or heard me, so my artillery's ready. I'm going to fire it at him. And then if I don't get a hit on him, I'm going to use the artillery as cover and distraction to make a move on him and shoot him in a moment, once my arty starts hitting. Our Coelian gets a good kill on an F6, F5. I try to get a peek on the Object 120. I can kind of just barely see him, and I'm going to back up and see if I can get a shot into him here in this break in the fence. I got a machine gun through the fence to, he's looking behind him, thankfully. So I knock the fence down, which of course doesn't come down. Then fully knock the fence down, wait for the fence to fall, and then get a shot into him, take out his cannon breech. And now our friend in the Leopard comes down to take out the Object 120 as I get strafed and marked in the cap, and somebody drops bombs on us. It's an F8 F1, and he takes out our friend in the Leopard. So I'm by myself, I've got the smoke up. There is no way in battle that the smoke is going to last long enough to continue to cover me, and the F8 F1 gets a second kill on the Coelian, so we now have no anti-air, which is alright. I mean, the dude had 3 1,000-pound bombs. A 1,000-pound bomb is going to take out a Coelian most of the time. And problem with the caps on battle, they are just so slow. So the Object 120, of course, knows where I am because I hit him and fired artillery at him, and I'm trying to line up on somebody up here. It's a T-92 up over the hill. I get strafed again. All kinds of dirt and crap flying up. I can't see where the T-92 is right now. There's more strafing going on. I'm waiting for my artillery to finish so I can put artillery up where the T-92 is up on the sniper hill. It finishes. I do get the artillery off. I gotta relocate the T-92 here. He's nowhere to be seen, of course. He's had all day to move while I was getting strafed and having all kinds of dirt thrown up in front of me. And I'm getting strafed again. All kinds of enemy air flying overhead, just hitting me with machine gun rounds to mark me on the map. There's our friend in the T-92. I miss his shot. Well, bounce his shot, rather. Get a good hit into him and set him on fire and disable his gun and his turret. Get strafed some more. Take all kinds of track damage. I've got a heavy tank just about to arrive and help me out at the cap here, which is just about 1/4 of the way captured. I'm trying to move on the T-92 and get to a better spot to hit him. Somebody took a shot at him, didn't quite damage him. Got a machine gun down the fence here. A second plane crashes while trying to strafe us at their cap, which was just fine with me. Take out the T-92's cannon breech again. looking pretty good right now. Got teammate coming. And an IS-6 takes him out, and then I take a hit from our T-92, who I had just destroyed his cannon breach. So apparently he had about a 4-second repair, and he takes out my cannon breach, and then sets me on fire with a second shot. So he's not only shooting extremely quickly, but he has an extremely quick repair on his breach. And I've got an IS-6 right on top of me. Along with the T-92 shooting me and marking me, and another teammate in a heavy tank who's driving up, but not going quickly. He does take out the IS-6, so that's good work there. And I'm trying to let him know where the T-92 is, hoping that he'll finish off the T-92 before he completely takes my entire crew out. Get my artillery off on him to hopefully mark him, and then have to restart my repair as an AMX-50 hits me with a follow-up shot. And then it was time to come back and drop some bombs. You can see the AMX-50 has dealt a big hard hit into the Tiger II as well, who was apparently shooting at the hull on the AMX-50 instead of the turret. And then an AMX-50 Cerbese comes and kills him, so we've got nobody left at the B point. So to get back to the tactics I was talking about, we lost 2/3, 3/4 of our team down at the B point, down south at the lake, instead of them coming up and staying north and staying on our defensive on our cap and just waiting for the enemy to come in. It is so much easier in this game to sit defensively and wait for people to come to you and kill them while they're on the move and their gun is whipping around, their suspension is bouncing up and down, they don't see you, you're sitting still, potentially camouflaged or at least hiding behind cover. They're on the move, they're bouncing around. There's so many reasons why it's so much easier to be the guy sitting defensive than it is the guy attacking. And most of the time, I'm of the opposite opinion that you should be pushing in and capping and moving and not sitting still and camping. But that's a domination match or a conquest match, or when we used to get them, I haven't seen them in forever, a break style match. In battle, I am fully of the opinion that camping is the way to win it. The problem is most battles are not battle style, battle type. Most of them are domination or conquest. Now, I don't know if break is just plain gone or what, but I haven't seen it in a real long time, so I'm heading back to the airfield here to hopefully get a cap. Or a new bomb, sorry. I'm reading the chat and seeing on the cap, but at any rate. So, as I'm heading back into land and try to slow my Orca down here and get it to land on this short, tiny little runway on this map. So, better to sit defensively and wait for them to come to you, pick them off either in force, because you're going to have an advantage on the defense, or individually as they come with a whole bunch of defenders, no problem, than it is to try and attack and assault against all the guys sitting up on their sniper hill and try to outduel them in a sniper duel. You're not going to win on this map from the side of the map that we were at. They can rest their gun barrels essentially on the rocks that are in front of them and fire over them, whereas you have to get that pixel-perfect shot that gets over the rocks but is low enough to hit these guys in their turrets, and most of the time you aren't going to win that kind of a gunfight. Not on this map, not from the eastern spawn that we had. So definitely better on this map, on the eastern spawn like we had, to drive north as quickly as possible, play defensively, as the Cerbese gets another Tiger kill. The Cerbese is such a good tank. I love it. I'm closing in on spading mine. It's not quite there yet, but it's quickly become one of my favorites, obviously, with the 120mm orbital space death cannon that it has on board. He does finally get knocked out. right as I get a new bomb and take off again and head back in. So back to the tactics talk. I do think that 3 to 4, a third of the team, no more than a third, preferably a quarter of the team, should go to the south to, if nothing else, act as a tripwire to warn you that the enemy team is coming around the south side of the lake. But even from where I was sitting, I could have defended guys coming off the south side of the lake. So even if our entire team was in the woods where we were, we've got guys who can cover the right side or the left side, and we've got cover from the front. And we can wait for them to either drive in front of us down the town, or even just get to our cap, and then we drive into the cap from the side, hit them from the side, take them out. Or they come into our cap from the south, assuming that they make it past our 3 to 4, 1/3 to 1/4 of the team down there. Or we just have nobody there. If the entire team went north, I wouldn't like it, because I think we should have some guys to the sides, but even then, I'd be happier with that than with most of the team going to the south, because they just get killed down there and they can't react. Can't react, and you can't do anything about the 8-point. So a few guys down there to be a tripwire, to stall the enemy team, to warn us, hey, they're coming from the south, that's great, that's fine, that's totally useful. But the entire team, not good. So trying to make it back here with my antiquated jet engines that don't have a whole lot of thrust, and fairly decent but pretty slow and poor overall acceleration, slower than I need to get here. Coming back in, looking for anybody. Of course, we've got the sun in our face as well, which also plays against us here. Could see somebody shoot at me from over the right there towards the what would be the A cap in a domination battle. And yes, the Tiger not knowing where to shoot French tanks is a bit of an issue for us, but still, if everyone had just stayed home and defended the cap, we would have been much better off. Yes, I suicide bombed. I did. I've said in battles before, I don't like it, but I will do it. And in a case like that, I want to make absolutely sure that I get that bomb on target and stop the guy who's capping our cap. I don't have time to miss and go all the way back and get another bomb. So, like I said in the chat, it's a dirty, crappy play, and I apologized for it, but I've got to stop the guy capping. We don't have time for anything else. I hate it. I hate doing it, but didn't really have a choice. And like he said, he's going to come and do the suicide back, thinking that I would have come back in another tank, but luckily I had my Kika with another 800 kilo bomb, and I'm going to see if I can find somebody else to drop it on. So my first thought is always to check their sniper hill. And you hear probably a P-47 going by, coming back from the guy who was in the T-32, or T-32, so. And like I'm saying in the chat here, he's saying that he got 2 kills and an assist down at the south, so it wasn't a waste, but he's not able to help us defend the cap, so AMX-13, got my bomb right on him, took him out. And they're in the cap again, with a second guy coming in from somewhere that I couldn't see. You could see a tank firing at me there from over on the south side of the lake. And I realized that I'm not going to be able to get all the way back and land with the P-47 coming after me, so I'm hauling back around as hard as I can to try and make him miss me, and then go back and strafe whoever's capping our A-point, so that if we have anybody back there, they can go in and do something about it. But as you can see, there's not a lot of friendly marks going on the map, because there are no friendlies left. And I just sort of gave up on the battle there and just flew into the guy. The P-47 didn't shoot me down, as it were. So I came back in a spare Kika
Head back to base.
right as they finished capping the point, and I totally wasted my spare Kika, but the idea was I was going to go right back to the guy that I had just crashed into and bomb him out, stop him from capping, and then get back in a tank if I had to. But anyway, obviously, I can't prove that the tactic works here with the victory, but I can prove that the way I said not to play worked for a loss. So, anyways, I did end up in first with 5 kills and an assist. Too bad I wasn't able to do more for the team there, and got a whole bunch of awards and even took out a French plane. But that was from a previous battle. It wasn't from this one. And there's all the kill feed. So take it for what you will. Let me know what you think in the comments about this very specific set of tactics here. And I hope you all have a great day, and we'll see you next time for more War Thunder. Take care, everyone.